So you copped a plea to killing two men, but you're not gay. I'm a murderer, but I'm not gay. This is a follow-up video to a video I did in December on the case of the murder of Dr. Devon Hoover in Detroit, Michigan. And at that point, the main suspect who had been arrested, Desmond Burks, was scheduled to go on trial starting at the end of January. And during the second day of jury selection, about 4 weeks ago, Desmond Burke copped a plea. And he was sentenced on yesterday, February 20th. So just here to talk about that. The sentence for Desmond Burke under the plea was 35 to 60 years for the murder, the first degree murder of Dr. Devon Hoover. They allowed him to drop that down to second degree murder. And then also about a year after the doctor was killed, another man, Reda, Saleh, was killed in a road rage incident. And he got 10 to 15 under the plea deal for that. So he had to serve a minimum of 40 years for those two second degree murder plea deal charges. And before he is eligible for parole. The nuanced part that I want to talk about is, and I will play the news clip from the Detroit News, where after he was sentenced, Desmond Burke, he never admits to killing the doctor, even though they had several of his friends testify against him. That one friend, he showed up at his house after the doctor was shot in the head with the murder weapon, and he asked the friend to get rid of the gun, which the friend tossed it in the river. They had video footage of Desmond Burke wearing the doctor's watch in a pawn shop and also pawning some of the other expensive jewelry that he stole from him. And also there were friends who testified during the preliminary hearing before the trial was going to start that they helped Desmond Burke steal $21,000 cash from the doctor's bank accounts through Cash App. So he did cop the plea, but the part I want to talk about is just the insidious, deep homophobia in the Black community, where a person would rather be a murderer than to be gay. The police had over 4,000 text messages showing some type of relationship between Desmond Burks and the doctor, Devon Hoover. The police said that the doctor did pay Desmond Burke for sex sometimes, but there appeared to be some type of more extensive relationship. Also, there were a couple of friends on the news who said they had met Desmond Burke at the doctor's house. So this was not just like some transactional sexual relationship and the doctor wasn't paying for sex all the time. But that was the outcome of the case. But during the statement that the state allowed Desmond Burke to make, he goes on about how he's not a gay killer. He apologizes for killing Reda, Saleh. That's a 67-year-old man that he struck after they had a minor car accident and they got out their cars. He struck the man and the man did wind up going to the hospital and he died. So that's a second degree murder charge. And like I said, the doctor, it was a first degree murder charge, but the plea allowed him to drop it to a second degree and give that sentence, which I guess is justice. I would like to have seen more or just life without parole, especially after killing two people. But what is that? Y'all get down in the comments and let me know that people in the Black community would rather be seen as a murderer rather than be gay, as if that's some type of deficiency, which it is not. So I don't know. It's just a very sad case. Like I said, the ending is some level of justice for the families of the two victims that were killed. But I will play the video of Desmond Burke from the news, and you can see what he says. But if you're gay, you're just gay. He had an extensive relationship with this doctor. Because those text messages, the over 4,000 text messages I spoke about that the police were able to recover from their cell phone communications, that happened over a 3-year period from 2020 until the doctor was killed in April of 2023. So there was something going on, and it's just very sad. Get down in the comments and let me know, what do you think about the outcome of this case, and also just the homophobia in the Black community, where it's so internalized that men would rather be a killer than to be gay. That's it. I'm going to play you the news clip now. That's my thoughts about it. And get down in the comments and let me know your thoughts about it. Give me a second here and I'll play the news video for you.
All right. Well, Desmond Burks maintaining his innocence today at sentencing, even though he pleaded guilty to killing a Detroit doctor and a man from Dearborn in separate incidents. Burks smirked in court as a judge told him he'll spend decades behind bars. J. Scott Smith breaks down the sentence and reaction from one of the victims' families.
My name is Desmond Burks. I like to say I'm not a murderer, I'm not a killer.
Those were the words of a man who indeed pleaded guilty to killing two people. It was part of a heartbreaking and at times surreal scene in the courtroom this morning as Burks was sentenced to 35 to 60 years in prison in the killing of Dr. Devon Hoover after pleading guilty to the killing on January 21st. Now, Burks killed Hoover, a neurosurgeon with whom he had a sexual relationship with, in his Detroit home on April 23, 2023. The nearly hour-long hearing featured victim impact statements from 5 of Hoover's sisters. They revealed that Hoover's mother, who had been stricken with cancer, died 4 days after their brother was murdered, adding further devastation to the family.
The thing that's been hardest for me to forgive you for is that when we could have used Devon the most, he was the strength of our family.
Burks could be seen smiling, rolling his eyes, smirking, and at times mugging for the cameras as the statements were being read. Burks was also sentenced to 10 to 15 years in the killing of 68-year-old Reda Saleh, who died after Burks punched him during a road rage incident in April 2024, nearly 1 year after he killed Hoover. Then, when given an opportunity to address the families of the men he killed, he stunned everyone.
Just because I took the plea, don't mean I did it. I'm tired of them keep saying that I'm some gay killer or a gay person.
After Burks' statement, Judge Paul Cusick had the last word.
All I have to say is, quite frankly, you are a murderer, sir. You are a killer. You pled under oath to that, and that's your sentence. Thank you, everyone.
And after Burks gave that statement and you heard the judge's rebuttal, he was then hauled off into custody to start his 30 to 60-year sentence. But unfortunately, Burks got one last parting shot off. As he walked out of the courtroom, he remarked, "If I were white and Dr. Hoover were black, no one would care." Outside of the Criminal Justice Center in Detroit, I'm J. Scott Smith for Local 4.
All right. Well,
Okay, as you see there, he still until the end is denying being a killer and also being gay. He never took responsibility for the doctor and even tried to minimize Reda Saleh's killing. So just a total psychopath, total piece of shit, basically. So get down in the comments and let me know what you think about the outcome.